So in this example, they just keep tacking random stuff onto this little world here. I've added an elevator. So if you go north from the hallway, you'll end up in an elevator, and in the elevator is a button. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this elevator so that when we push the button, it's going to take us to the upper deck. So what it's actually going to do is it's going to reconfigure the elevator like that, and it's going to break this connection here. So you won't be able to go north from the hallway anymore, and going south from the elevator will take you to the upper deck. And when we push the button again, we're going to change this connection, and we're going to break this connection here. Uh, so we're going to have a little button in our elevator that we push, and that's going to make it go between two different floors. Could you have an elevator that went like more than two floors? Sure. Would it be complicated? Yes. The example I've got for you is just two floors. I guess if you want to have something with three floors, maybe just have two different elevators. Have one elevator that goes to the basement, then somewhere else have an elevator that goes to the second floor. So let's go test this out in Lantern and see how we can get it going. Okay, so here we are in Lantern, and in Lantern I've added that room upper deck, and I've made it lit. And initially, we're not able to go that way, like because the elevator's not on this floor. The elevator starts on the ground floor, or on the first floor. So on the hallway now, if we go north, we end up in the elevator. In the elevator, if we go south, we end up in the hallway. I have put an object called button in the elevator. So in the elevator, there is a button. And for the initial description of the button, let's put like next to the door is a small button. There we go. So let's just see what our world looks like now. So if I go north from the hallway, I'm in the elevator, and it says next to the door is a small button. Examine the button. The small button has an up-down icon on it. Cool. All right. Press or push button. I don't follow you, right? So so now let's go add a function called push button. So we're going to make some code that's going to run when we push that button. So I made a function called push button, and now let's right click on here, and I've got a code snippet for moving an elevator between floors using a button. Oh wow, isn't that cool? Okay, now it's going to ask us a whole bunch of questions. Which object is the elevator? So there's our elevator. What floor does the elevator start on? Or like what object is it connected to initially? And that's our hallway. What floor does the elevator go to? So what room are we going to is the new room we're going to go to, and that's the upper deck. And which object is the elevator button? There's our button. Now let's click OK. Which direction does the player go to enter the elevator? So according to our map, we go north into the elevator and south out of the elevator. Which direction does the player go to leave the elevator? They go south. Okay. Would you like to add the following sentence? Push button. Yes. Okay. So what this says is if the elevator's south exit is the hallway, now might have to change the text. Rises and the door opens and slowly descends based on your game. So if the elevator is initially connected to the hallway, now we're going to print the elevator slowly rises and the door opens, and then we're going to connect the elevator's south exit to the upper deck and the elevator's out property to the upper deck. You can type out, that'll work. And the upper deck, if we go north, we go back in the elevator. So we have to change the elevator's connections out, and we have to change the new location's connection into the elevator. And then what does this do? So now if somehow we get back down to that hallway and we try to go north, we want it to fail. We want it to print out, hey, you can't go that way. The elevator's not on this floor, right? If the elevator can only be in one place, right? And it's the same thing. If the elevator is not connected to that hallway, then it must be connected to the upper deck. So we're going to reconnect the elevator's south exit to be the hallway, and then we're going to break the upper deck's north exit and reconnect the hallway to the elevator. So that's it. Now let's go to our sentences, and you can see that Lantern added push button. If we type push button, it's going to run our push button function. Now the thing is, now that we have the verb push, we could try to push anything. And so we should probably let's add another function called push anything. And I'll add that, and I'm just going to print a line of text. PR tab tab, nothing happens. There we go. And now let's add a sentence that says, if I try to push or press something, and something. So what is something? Something is the star, the wild card, anything. If I try to push anything, call the push anything function. There you go. So again, what we're doing here, we did this with read, we did this with shoot. When you add a verb, you want a Lantern will look for specific exact matches for your sentence. It says if I can find something where the verb is push and the noun is button, if I can find a function for that, I'm going to call it. If I can't, can I find another function for pushing anything, like a generic case for pushing something? And if so, I'm going to push, or then I'm going to run that code. So let's run this. There's a lab code here. Push code. Nothing happens, right? There's our. If we try to push the button, something specific happens. North. Examine the button. Okay, and we go south. Okay, so then we're back in the lab code. Let's go back into the elevator and let's push our button. And it says the elevator slowly rises and the door opens. So now if I go south, I'm on the upper deck. Right? And if I go north, back into the elevator, I'm still in the elevator. Let me push the button again. The elevator slowly descends and the door opens. Cool. Now if I go south, I'm back in the hallway. Cool. Now push button. You don't see that here. Okay, so so that worked, right? And that's because if we go to our verb checks, we can see that on push and press, we have to be able to see now the thing we're trying to press, right? We've put a validity check on here. If you want to push something, you have to be able to see it. So there it is. There's how to add a 2-floor elevator controlled by a button. You just need the elevator, the button, and then the 2 rooms that the elevator is going to take you between.